Hey basketball coaches and players, today this is a video for both of you. Of course, this is what I call a winning strategy to win every single basketball game. Let's get down and let's check out what this is. Okay, so here we have the San Antonio Spurs going up against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And of course, the San Antonio Spurs do extremely well when it comes to passing the basketball. But you can't just pass the basketball around to be able to get yourself an open shot. That does work once in a while, but there's a strategy behind it. So let's get down to it. First, in this play, what we have is these two players, they switched their positioning. Player 33 was up here. Miles, number 8, was down here. So, of course, there's a little bit of a misdirection up over here, but also we have Tim Duncan going up and setting a screen for the ball handler. There has to be lots of off-ball movement and a lot of passing to be able to win every single game. And what we have here is obviously he uses that screen. Instead of passing in to Tim Duncan, he passes over here to Mills. He passes to Mills. Mills then hits up the player who is cutting towards the rim, which is Tim Duncan. Now, when you get that ball into the key, whether it be against a man-to-man defense or against a zone, it collapses the defenders. What does that do for you? That opens up three-point opportunities for other players on the court. So now he's able to collapse that defense, especially when you're Tim Duncan. You are a killer player down in that key and down in the low post. So he kicks it out. And then they hit that three-point shot. How did this work? It wasn't just from passing. It was passing and then getting that ball to a cutter who is inside the key, who is then able to pass that ball out for that three-point shot. Here we have Steph Curry getting a screen. Steph Curry is getting open, but because Steph Curry has a lot of eyes on him because he is a knockdown shooter, we have the player who is rolling off of that screen towards that rim. The player in the post is able to pass him that ball, and that's able to finish with a dunk. We now have 3 players coming past half court. We have a screen for Duncan. Duncan Robinson is a very good three-point shooter. He gets that ball. Now, after he gets that ball, he now uses another player as a screen. He's able to then stop and do a quick pump fake shot. He now passes back to that player who is close to the point. And now, what's he do after he passes that ball? He cuts towards the rim. This is something that you need to do as a player. And as a coach, we need to teach our players how to do this. After you pass that ball, you need to go do something. You can't just stand there and do nothing. So, Duncan Robinson cuts towards the rim. And then he's able to get that ball into the paint where he's able to kick the ball out. He could have had a swing pass for a 3 up top. But instead, we have Iguodala who then drives towards the rim, collapses multiple defenders, and now that makes him even more wide open than before for a very wide open three-point shot. So what does this tell us as players and as coaches? Well, what this tells us is, of course, we need to pass in game. If we're playing up against a zone, we need to swing that ball from one side of the court to the other. But it doesn't just come down to just passing. It also comes down to off-ball movement. But it also comes down to off-ball movement that we have here, where Duncan Robinson makes that pass, and then he cuts to the rim. Then he's able to kick that ball out for a possible swing, but then Iguodala drives to then pass it out. It's all about smarts. It's not just about passing. So many players, so many coaches, so many fans say, oh my God, their passing is so amazing. But what creates those passing lanes? We don't just have players who are standing around doing nothing, because if they were standing around doing nothing, the defense would be straight on them, guarding them so that they're not able to pass the ball. If we don't have movement, then there's no passing. If we have no passing, then there's no scoring. So we need to not just pass the ball around, we also move off ball so we can get those touches inside the key, so we can collapse those defenders, so we can kick that ball out for a 3-point shot. And then look at what Tim Duncan does here. It's not just a kick out, he also sets a screen. He posts up that player, basically screening him, but posts him up so that player cannot come out to try and defend and block that shot. So, if you have enjoyed today's video, hit that like button and subscribe, but also check out the link up in that corner as well as the next video up in that corner. I hope that you have enjoyed.